Hello, my name is Mactics, and this is my all bells and whistles Proving Grounds Grandmaster Nightfall guide. This is going to be a bit of a longer guide, so if you're looking for a shorter one that doesn't have as much information but is still pretty decent, you can check out my 7-minute Proving Grounds Grandmaster Nightfall guide that scratches on the surface of all of the really important things that you need to know, linked in the description. If you're looking for every edge that you can get, I highly recommend this guide. This is going to be a little different than your more traditional guide. I'm not going to heavily edit this. I don't have a script for this. I'm just going to kind of talk over the gameplay footage right here. This is a relatively successful run, however we did make some mistakes in this run. And I think it's important to show some of those mistakes because I don't want to show you guys a heavily edited guide video that requires perfection on your end. I think it's valuable to show some mistakes in some of our runs and talk about how we played around those mistakes so that when you run it yourself, if any of you or your teammates make a mistake, it's not automatically a return to orbit. So this first area is pretty simple. You can take your spare up to the left side, or you can deal with all of the adds. It's totally your choice. Just make sure you kill the unstoppable incendior right here on this ridge. You also have another barrier colossus and another unstoppable incendior a little bit further up the ridge. The only thing that you really need to be concerned about in this area, though, is the Scorpius turrets. They don't move, but they pack a punch, and they're kind of hidden, scattered around, so make sure you keep an eye out for them and take them out as you see them. This part's pretty simple, so I'm going to use this part of the video to actually talk about builds instead of talking about what actually to do in the strike, because there's not much coordination necessary here. For weapons, I highly recommend a kinetic sniper, a energy hand cannon, or pulse rifle, whichever you prefer. I prefer hand cannon, so I use hand cannon. If you like pulse rifle better, totally use pulse rifle. Some of my clients like the pulse rifle better. Highly recommend the pulse rifle, no problem. For your heavy weapon, Anarchy is in a class of its own. Nothing goes toe-to-toe with Anarchy. If you don't have Anarchy, Izanagi's Burden and a rocket launcher can be a viable substitute, but it won't be nearly as effective. You can still totally get it done with Anarchy and a rocket launcher. You don't need to deny LFG teammates from your team just because they don't have Anarchy, but if you do have Anarchy, there is no reason not to be using it. As far as mods go, obviously anti-barrier sniper and unstoppable hand cannon or pulse rifle, depending on what you selected, is going to be necessary for the champions. I also highly recommend grenade launcher and sniper, ammo finder on your helmet, and scavenger on your boots, so that you're always in a good spot when it comes to ammo. As far as miscellaneous mods go, my charge with light build is always the same, tried and true, and I love it. Protective light, which gives you damage resistance when your shield is broken if you have charge with light. Charge harvester, which gives you charge with light on kills and assists. And stacks on stacks, which means for every charge of light you get, you will actually get 2 charges of light. And the reason 2 charges of light is good is because protective light scales with stacks. So you get a longer duration of damage resistance. Now, this is a part where I actually want to talk about within the strike. This first enemy, he'll put his dome shield up and go immune once he hits 1/2 HP. The best way to kill the dome shields is by using a hunter and sticking anarchy bolts to the dome shield and getting out. You don't really have to invis for this first one, but once we get to the boss room, invis will become a lot more important. You'll notice that at first I stuck 2 anarchy bolts, one on the actual generator itself and one on the ground, and it didn't do anything. They didn't tick for damage. And this is the most important thing I want people to take away from this. 1 anarchy bolt on the generator will do damage. It will do about half of its HP, so you will need to shoot 2 anarchy bolts total. However, 2 anarchy bolts on the generator at the same time will do 0 damage. I don't know exactly why it works that way, but that's how it works. So you shoot 1 anarchy bolt, you get out, you wait until it's ran its course, and then you shoot the second anarchy bolt, and then it'll break. Finish off killing that enemy, and you're good to go with this area. It's also important to note that when that shield comes up right there, and he gets to half HP, he will spawn an unstoppable incendior as well as some other adds out of the left side of that arena. They're pretty easy to take care of, no sweat. This next part, we're about to get into the tank room, but before we get into the tank room, I want to talk about subclasses and class compositions. You can beat this thing with any class composition. Do not let anyone tell you that an Ursa Furiosa Titan is necessary for this completion, because I promise it's not. And in fact, in this run, we don't even have a Titan on our fire team. However, if you are running Titan, I recommend Ursa Furiosa with Middle Tree Sentinel. It's very strong. If you're running Warlock and you only have one, I recommend Well of Radiance. If you have a second Warlock, I recommend either Chaos Reach or Shadebinder for the second Warlock. And if you're running Shadebinder, make sure that you're running the Stasis Turret. As far as Hunter goes, Omnioculus with Bottom Tree Night Stalker is absolutely one of the strongest and most enjoyable things I have played in PvE in a long time. So use that. In this run, by the way, we have an Omnioculus Hunter, which is me. That's the footage you're getting. We also have a Well of Radiance and a Shadebinder Warlock. So we're going to jump down this tank room. The first thing I'm going to do is take out those two Scion Snipers, and our Shadebinder over there is actually going around and killing all of the red bar ads. As he's doing that, we're going to stand in the Well of Radiance, and we're going to prioritize all of the enemies in middle. The number one thing we want to get out of the way is that first Barrier Colossus if it reveals itself. So we're shooting Anarchies at it, we nail it with Cypher shots, take it out. Other thing we have to deal with is there is two randomized named enemies in this area. And those two enemies can be any combination of Major Scions, Arc Shielded Colossuses, Solar Shielded Centurions, or Void Shielded Incendiors. You don't know which two you're going to get, so I highly recommend bringing a whole array of elements in your energy slot into this. You don't really need to worry about which elements you have, as long as you have one of each, because the only shields in this entire strike are the void shields on the Interceptor pilots. And you actually don't have to worry about their shields, because if you do enough damage to the Interceptor itself, the Interceptor will just blow up, and then the Scion pilot inside of it will die. If you don't want to worry about blowing up the Interceptors, one viable strategy is to have a player sit in the middle and then have another player move either to the far left or the far right side of the arena, depending on which interceptor you want to deal with. You then take turns firing bullets, pulling the aggro of the interceptor. When the interceptor is aggroed on the middle player, the player on the left will take shots at its side. And then when it turns to the left player, the middle player will take shots at the interceptor's side. That's a great way to deal with the interceptors without expending a lot of ammo. Or you can just continuously shoot at them until they eventually blow up. So, we cleaned up the dogs, we cleaned up all the red bar enemies, we cleaned up all the named enemies, and we cleaned up the champions. Next thing is to kind of finish off the interceptors. I recommend the interceptor in the back being the last thing that you kill. I also recommend making sure that you clear out all of the explosive barrels in the middle of the arena, especially in the middle bottom area. And the reason for this is because that middle bottom area is where we are going to be positioned for the remainder of this room after we finish off this initial wave of ads. I died here because I got a little greedy pushing a major Scion for damage. Deaths happen, it's okay, you'll be fine. So we're going to finish off that Barrier Colossus right there. I'm not going to get killed by this guy again, I learned my lesson. But we're going to take him out, and now we know that the last enemy that we have are these interceptors. So we're going to go ahead and take them out. And the second that we finish off these interceptors, we are going to get a lot of ads to spawn. There's going to be a Barrier Colossus on the left and right side of the arena that come out of the lower middle doors. There is going to be a Scion Sniper on top of both of the Scion Sniper platforms. There's going to be a lot of Phalanxes, a lot of Legionaries, and about 20 seconds later, there's going to be some dogs. There's also going to be 2 tanks that come out of the 2 large doors at the back of the arena. This is the part that a lot of people struggle with. I'm going to tell you, it is not that bad, and I'm going to show you exactly what the best way to deal with it is. Sometimes the best way is to have 2 players down below before you start, and have the third player shooting Anarchies at this interceptor to finish it off, so that he can then get back underground when the interceptor dies. That's fine, or you can have all 3 players up here if you're quick to rotate down. But the number one thing you want to make sure is that you do not kill this last enemy before you kill, or while a Guardian is dead. You want to make sure all 3 of you are alive. So the second he dies, we're going to get down here and throw down the well and focus on that right side Barrier Colossus. One of your players is also going to want to take out both of these Scion Snipers as quickly as they can. Next, you're going to want to prioritize the left side Barrier Colossus. However, you also want one of your players to keep their head on a swivel. Keep an eye behind you. Are there a lot of ads pushing us? Are there any Phalanxes pushing us? Make sure you're keeping an eye out and, covering each other's backs. Once both of the Barrier Colossuses are dead, 99% of the threat has been eliminated. As you can see here, we're using a Shadebinder Warlock, and using that Stasis turret to watch our back for us is exceptional. We're also going to get 6 dogs to spawn, so I'm just kind of going to invis and let my grenade take care of them. It's a great way to take care of the dogs. You can also anarchy the entrances to that little underground room, and you'll be perfectly fine. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is taking care of the tanks. The tanks cannot hit you when you are hugging the door in this underneath area. If you are standing back towards the entrance in the underneath area, the tanks will have an angle on you. However, if you stay closer to the exit of this room, the tanks cannot hit you. It is super safe. So you're going to kill one of the tanks. Once you kill one of the tanks, you're going to get the same ad spawn that you just got, minus the Scion Snipers. So we're going to get another 2 Barrier Colossuses. We're going to get more Legionaries. We're getting more Phalanxes. 20 seconds later, we're going to get some more dogs. First things we're going to do is we're going to take out both of the Barrier Colossuses. Once you take out both of them, 99% of the threat is eliminated. We're going to clean up the rest of the red bar ads that come to us. Additionally, we are going to get 2 named enemies that spawn. They can be any random combination of the Scion Major, the Colossus, the Centurion, and the Incendior, like we talked about before. However, these enemies will not push you. They will simply hang out in the arena, so you don't have to worry about them too much. Once you clean up all of the red bars, all of the dogs, the Barrier Colossus, yada yada yada, all you have left to deal with is the 1 remaining tank and the 2 named majors. I know this room seems difficult, and it is. And the worst thing to do in this room, in my opinion, is to try and delay the threat. What I see a lot of people do is they try and just hold up Ursa shields while they slowly deal with ads while they're getting hit by a million different things. And I'm sure that can work for people, and if that has worked for you, then by all means I recommend doing it. But what I have found to be the most effective in this arena is by coordinating to focus the dangerous threats, which are the Barrier Colossuses, taking them off the map as fast as humanly possible, and then having a little bit of breathing room to slowly but surely deal with the rest of the ads. It's quick, and you have to be focused, and you have to be coordinated, and you have to know where to look and when to look, but since you just watched this video, you know exactly how to do it, so that's not a problem. So once you get past this room, in my opinion, you are past the most difficult part of the strike. The boss room is a little challenging, but it's not nearly as bad as that room in my opinion. And I'm going to show you exactly why the boss room isn't too bad once we get there. But before we get there, the reason it's not too bad is because, and I know a lot of people initially, they're going to say, well, there's not a lot of cover in the boss room. There's a ton of fireballs all over the place. It's crap. There's nowhere to be safe. And that's actually very untrue. There are very few ads in the boss room, and they spawn at very specific intervals. And you'll see those intervals when we get into the boss room. Additionally, there are a lot of locations in the boss room that you can stand where you are 1,000,000% safe. We'll talk about those when we get to the boss room, but I just wanted to get those out of the way real quick. Because this area is not so bad. We're going to hop down, we're going to take out some of these ads. You're going to get an unstoppable incendior and either a named phalanx or a named void shielded incendior. Additionally, as you exit this area, there will be a Scion sniper on the top floor across the tire tracks. I'm going to go ahead and snipe him real quick. Easy peasy. Most of the threat is gone. Slowly but surely take out the rest of these enemies, and then you'll go ahead and grab the ball. And you're going to drop it immediately because we want to deal with these enemies on the inside. There's 3 gladiators, some legionaries, 2 major legionaries, a Barrier Colossus, and 2 Scorpius turrets. That Scorpius turret, that first one, you want to definitely take it out as soon as you can. The second one right here, can't really see you in that entrance, so you can be a little more leisurely with that one, but better to dispatch them ASAP because you know they can't move, and you know they hurt. I got a little greedy here trying to snipe the honorary legionary, so I got caught in a bad place. It's no problem. My teammates will be able to clean up these ads, no problem. Barrier Colossus, just pop the shield, take him out, and then have one of your teammates go back and get the ball, and then you and your other teammate can be ready to go into the next room. And in this next room, we're going to have 2 phalanxes on the first platform, as well as a silent sniper directly above the first platform as you walk out. Now that silent sniper can't see you, but he'll be able to see you as you push out to the next one, so definitely good to take him out. Also 3 Scorpius turrets, 2 directly out in front of you and 1 in the top left. Take them out immediately. I like to smoke myself and run up and just go ahead and take care of the silent sniper real quick, because getting them off the field is just nice. We're also going to have a barrier colossus across the way, as well as some legionaries and a named major. That named major can either be a scion or a solar shielded centurion. This named major should be the last thing that you kill. And the reason it should be the last thing that you kill is because once you kill that named major, the enemies on the inside will respawn. So if you kill the named major, and there's still enemies on the platform across from you, and you're not ready to go onto the platform across from you, you're going to have gladiators pushing your back from the room inside. And so then you're kind of caught in a pinch. This way, you're not caught in a pinch whatsoever. You can be on the other platform as you kill the named major, and you'll be perfectly fine. Gonna go ahead and have a teammate pick up the ball, then immediately drop it. Run over here. You're gonna have the same exact adds that we had previously, minus the Scorpius turrets. The Scorpius turrets do not respawn, so it's just the 3 gladiators, the legionaries, the major legionaries, and the barrier colossus. Once you clear all of them out, you'll be 100% good to go to take on the enemies in the elevator room. Enemies in the elevator room, you got some honorary legionaries, a couple phalanxes, some dogs, a barrier colossus, and an unstoppable incendior. It's also worth noting that the second that you get to the boss room and you start the fight, everyone's super immediately fills up. So no need to really save your supers here, because you will get 100% of your super the second that you start the boss fight. So you can spam your tethers here. You can use Ursa Furiosa as an ad clear super here. You can use your Well of Radiance to get some damage buffs. Not a problem at all. I recommend being conservative with your ammo at this point in time as well, because this is the last set of enemies that you're going to get to kill before you get into the boss room. So if you're already low on Anarchy, or you're already low on special ammo at this point, it might be worthwhile to just take a little bit of extra time to kill the ads and just use your primary to kill the ads. So we're going to take out this unstoppable incendior. Already took out all the dogs. We got the barrier colossus that hangs back. He will not push you. Just going to snipe at him a little bit to force him to pop his shield. Take him out. One of my teammates died. That's okay though. Not a huge deal. It happens. Go ahead and take him out. And then usually the phalanxes will stay inside the room as well. So we'll go ahead and take out the phalanxes. That's everything. And then we'll go ahead and hop on the elevator and start riding our way up to the boss room. If the elevator goes up and one of your teammates is not on it, it will do joining allies once the elevator reaches the top. So if an ally wants to stay back and scavenge some ammo, that's no problem. You do not have to start the boss fight to pull them. You'll be perfectly fine. My teammate wanted to emo with me here, so just hit that real quick. And then now we're making our way to the boss room. And like I said, the boss room is really not that bad. It seems bad because there's not a lot of cover, and the boss is very lethal. However, the boss doesn't move around very much. Additionally, there are very few ads. So for most of the fight, you're really only focused on one enemy. You really only have to worry about one guy that could potentially hit you. So it's pretty safe. Here's the perfect way to do the boss. What we're going to do is we're going to start the fight. And we're going to run to the back of the arena where he spawns. We're going to take out his first set of fireballs. And then we're going to almost hug his spawn platform. He can't see you when you're back here. He does not move from that middle spot for his first 1/3 of his HP bar. We're going to sit here, and we're going to kill the first wave of ads. There's going to be 2 legionaries and 1 phalanx that jump out of each side. I'm going to go ahead and kill those real quick. I'm solo on my side, and my teammates are 2-manning the other side. I like the Invis Hunter on the solo side because, well, you know, they can just go invisible if they get in a pickle. It's not too big of a deal. And then you're pretty much sitting right here for this entire 1/3 of his HP bar. Once you get his HP to 1/3 HP, an incendior will spawn out of that door right there. But you're very safe here. The only thing you have to be careful about is being out in the open or being too close to cover. If you were standing right here, you would be way too close to the cover, because all of his attacks do splash damage. You want to utilize cover, but you don't want to be hugging it. Additionally, the safest spot in this arena is this area as well. This thing burns, but even when it's burning, this spot right here, you will never take damage in. You'll take damage standing on the ground, but that back middle area, you're completely immune in. Watch, I'm burning here. It's on fire. I'm in the back middle area. Not taking any damage. Very, very safe in there if you need to jump in there. Pretty safe from the fireballs, pretty safe from all the ads, very safe from the boss. Those are the safe spots here. So we're gonna hit the boss. He just hit 1/3 HP, so he's gonna go immune. We're gonna get an unstoppable incendior on each side. I'll do my best to solo mine. My teammates will 2-man the other one. We'll be perfectly fine. I'll just tag him with the anarchy, shoot some shots, and I can back up into this little chamber as he pushes me. I can also invis if I really want to, but didn't really think I had to. Gotta shoot a couple more sniper shots, kill him, and we're good to go. My teammates are gonna work on their unstoppable incendior. They were having a little bit of a tough time with theirs, but after they kill theirs, we're just gonna wait until the boss is done spamming his fireballs. And I'm gonna speed this part up a little bit because it takes a sec. But the boss sends out 13 sets of fireballs for each phase he's in. And then he doesn't send out fireballs whatsoever anymore. He only shoots his gun. And the reason that's important is because the fireballs track you when you're invisible. And like I said before, the best way to kill the dome shield is to go invis on a hunter, stick an anarchy, get out, and then do it again. If you're shooting fireballs, you definitely don't want to be doing that because they're going to track you while you're invis. They'll kill you because you're so close. So what we're going to kind of do is we're just going to hang out and wait out the fireballs. And then once he's done shooting the fireballs, we're going to start pushing up. And as we start pushing up, we're going to get ready to shoot an anarchy on his dome generator and slowly take it out. So as you can see right here, he is done with the fireballs. It's a gun only for him. Now, if you don't have a hunter, you can still do this perfectly fine. You just have one teammate take the aggro of the boss while the other runs in and shoots the dome generator. And this is what I mean when I'm talking about playing cover right here. This wall right here that I'm standing behind, it is impossible for him to hit me. Sure, he shuffles around a little bit, but he cannot hit me as long as I shuffle with him. This pillar right here as well. If I'm standing behind that, he can't hit me. It is impossible for him to hit me while I'm standing here. So it's very, very safe. So I'm just going to go ahead and shoot one more anarchy, and I know that's going to kill it, so I'm going to go ahead and retreat back to my corner. And when this dome shield breaks, we're going to get another 2 legionaries and phalanx that come out of the ceiling windows on each side. So I just want to be super safe. I'm going to toss my grenade, let the grenade deal with them, and then I'm going to smoke myself to be safe. Second phase, we're just going to slowly shoot at the boss. We have some more cover available to us now. The room is even safer now than it was before. The boss might move around a little bit. I don't think he's supposed to. As in most of our runs, he stands exactly where he stood previously. But the last few runs we've been doing, he just starts randomly moving around. So just be prepared for him to move. I don't think he's supposed to move here, but he might. So gotta deal with what you gotta deal with. So all I'm doing is making sure he doesn't have a line of sight of me. I'm keeping cover between us, but I'm not standing so close to the cover that the splash damage will hit me. I felt a little uncomfortable with all the fireballs coming at me. I didn't think I could kill them all, so I just jumped inside the little tube. The second the boss hits 1/3 HP, he will go immune again. And we immediately want to book it to the entrance of the room. We want to avoid jumping as best we can as well, because if we're jumping, grounded is on. You're going to get hit with his shot out of the air, and then you're going to be screwed. You want to be standing very far back in the room, but not so far back that your back is touching the back wall, because then he can use it as a backboard to hit you with his void cannon. The fireballs should not hit you out here. They don't have that much range. They'll come to you, but they will explode before they reach you. We have 2 unstoppable incendiors here as well, so we're just going to stun them and slowly take them out as they come down. And if you're really, really, really low in ammo at this point, you can utilize supers to kill them. You can utilize your hunter's invis to rotate around the map and slowly chip away at them and invis when they get a little too close. Plenty of things that you can do. And this is a run where we're just two-manning this part. Our teammate died trying to rotate around. And the other unstoppable incendior is very obsessed with his orb. So I'm gonna just try and get the attention of the other unstoppable incendior. But this isn't too much of a waste of time, because remember, we have to wait until he shoots all 13 of his sets of fireballs before I'm even willing to consider going up there and taking out his dome generator. I died accidentally because I wasn't looking at him and I was peeking in proper angles, but my teammate can get me up just fine. That fireball got close to killing me, but I have concussive dampener on, which helps a great deal. Concussive dampener is a must-have on the chest piece for this run, in my opinion. And then you can also run void damage resistance if you're more scared of his void cannon, or if you're more scared of the Cabal hand grenades, you can run solar damage resistance. So we finally got the attention of the unstoppable incendior. We're gonna have him come over to us, and we're gonna take him out. And the boss is still shooting his fireballs, but he should be getting close to his 13th set, and we'll be okay from there. After we kill this unstoppable incendior, I'm gonna go up and get my teammate up, and he'll come back down here and rejoin my other teammate. So my goal is gonna be the exact same as before. Go invis, get inside the dome, shoot one anarchy bolt, get out. Do that a second time, and then we know his shield's gonna break and we'll be ready to deal with him. Once his dome shield breaks here, you're gonna get 4 legionaries and 2 phalanxes, the same ad spawns that we've been having. Do your best to snipe them from far away as the boss pushes you. The boss will push you, just like the arms dealer boss, Brakazan, until he dies or you die. So once you kill those ads, the entire fight is just kiting him. That's all it is. He'll shoot his fireballs occasionally, he'll shoot his void cannon. Use your invis to smoke and get away from him. Use your Well of Radiance to have some damage resistance. Use your Ursa Furiosa to have some damage resistance. You can use your Ursa Furiosa to clear the ads here as well. Perfectly fine as well. So I just killed 3 of the ads. My teammates are working on the left side ads. And one of our teammates just died, actually. So my teammate's going to pop Shadebinder to deal with the rest of the ads, which is perfectly fine. And the boss is focused on him, so I'm going to focus on our teammate's res. The boss also teleports here sometimes, and not in like a he's supposed to teleport way. He just teleports, like buggy teleports. He has blink. He's a hunter from D1 or something. It's very weird. I don't know. But just kite him around. You know, run away from him if he's rushing you, and you'll take him out pretty easily. That's the run. It's not too bad. I like it a lot. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to come into my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/Mactics, or you can join my Discord server linked in the description and ask there. I do carries of this Grandmaster Nightfall strike on my stream at twitch.tv/Mactics, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern every day. If you need help with the run and you're on PC, feel free to drop by and maybe you can get a carry. Please consider hitting the subscribe button and the like button on the video, and have an absolutely fantastic day. Thanks for watching.